There comes a moment in every person's life when comfort stops feeling comfortable. The rooms you once fit into begin to feel too small. The conversations that once excited you now feel repetitive. The habits you once defended now quietly drain your energy. And you may think something is wrong with you, but nothing is wrong. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent, private, and deeply uncomfortable. It happens when your values shift, when your standards rise, when your inner voice grows stronger than the noise around you. You begin to notice that you can no longer laugh at what hurts your spirit. You can no longer participate in what weakens your integrity. You can no longer stay where your soul feels crowded. Outgrowing is not arrogance. It is awareness. You are not saying you are better than anyone. You are saying you are becoming more aligned with who you truly are. And alignment changes everything. It changes what you tolerate. It changes what you chase. It changes what you allow near your heart. Some people will misunderstand your growth. They will say, you have changed. And they will be right. You have changed, because staying the same when you know better is a betrayal of your own becoming. Not everyone is meant to walk the entire road with you. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. Their role was real. Their impact was meaningful. But their season has ended. And endings are not failures. Endings are transitions. When you outgrow places, it doesn't mean those places were bad. It means they were training grounds, classrooms, preparation spaces. But you cannot graduate and keep sitting in the same desk forever. At some point, you must stand up and walk forward, even if your legs are shaking. Patterns are often the hardest to release because they are familiar. Even painful patterns can feel safe simply because they are known. But familiar does not mean healthy. Predictable does not mean purposeful. You are allowed to interrupt cycles that hurt you. You are allowed to choose differently, even if no one around you understands your choice. Listen closely. Your discomfort is not your enemy. It is your invitation. It is inviting you to rise, to refine your circle, to redesign your environment, to rewrite your habits, to reclaim your power. Growth will ask you for courage before it gives you clarity. You won't always see the full path, only the next step. Take it anyway. Do not shrink yourself to remain accepted. Do not dim your awareness to remain included. Do not silence your truth to remain comfortable. Expansion requires space, and sometimes space is created by letting go. Trust the inner nudge that says, "There's more you." Trust the gentle unrest that says, "You're ready now." Trust the quiet strength that says, "Walk on," because you are not losing your world. You are meeting your next one. Growth rarely announces itself with applause, certainty, and comfort. It usually arrives with tension, questions, and emotional stretching. Most people expect progress to feel good from the beginning, but real transformation often feels confusing before it feels clear, heavy before it feels freeing, and uncertain before it feels powerful. When you begin to grow, you start noticing what no longer fits you, what drains your energy, what contradicts your values, and that awareness itself can feel unsettling. Discomfort is not a warning sign that you are on the wrong path. It is often evidence that you are leaving your old limits behind. Just like muscles feel sore when they are being strengthened, your mindset and identity can feel strained when they are being expanded. You begin to question routines that once felt normal, relationships that once felt secure, and choices that once felt acceptable. This questioning can create inner friction, but that friction is a sign of awakening, not failure. Many people turn back at this stage because comfort is seductive, predictability feels safe, and familiarity feels easier than change. The mind prefers known pain over unknown possibility. You may feel lonely even in a crowd, misunderstood even among friends, restless even in stable situations. That emotional mismatch is not weakness, it is evolution. You are becoming becoming more honest with yourself, more aware of your needs, more protective of your purpose. Before empowerment comes separation, separation from old habits, old thinking, old emotional reactions. You start saying no where you once said yes. You start pausing where you once reacted. You start choosing peace where you once chose approval. These small internal decisions create temporary discomfort because they break patterns, and broken patterns disturb people who benefited from the old version of you. Growth also exposes your fears, your self-doubt, your hidden insecurities. Instead of avoiding them, growth brings them to the surface so they can be healed. This can feel overwhelming because awareness removes the illusion that everything is fine. But awareness is a gift, clarity is a gift, truth is a gift, even when it first arrives wrapped in discomfort. Empowerment is not the starting point. It is the reward for walking through the uncomfortable middle. Confidence is built after courageous choices, not before them. Strength appears after resistance, not before it. The person you are becoming is built decision by decision, boundary by boundary, honest moment by honest moment. When you feel stretched, uncertain, emotionally challenged, do not rush to escape the feeling. Sit with it, study it, learn from it. Ask yourself what it is trying to teach you, what it is trying to remove, what it is trying to prepare you for. Discomfort is often a messenger saying, you are ready for more, you are ready for higher standards, you are ready for deeper truth. Do not measure your growth by how comfortable you feel today. Measure it by how honest you are becoming, how intentional you are acting, how aligned you are living. Comfort keeps you where you are. Discomfort introduces you to who you can become. Stay with the process, stay with the stretch, stay with the truth, because on the other side of discomfort is not just success, not just achievement, but personal power, emotional freedom, and unshakable self-trust. One of the most misunderstood parts of personal growth is the moment you begin to outgrow certain people, environments, and social circles, and instead of feeling proud, you may feel guilty, conflicted, or misunderstood. Many people confuse alignment with arrogance, distance with disrespect, and self-development with superiority. But outgrowing is not about thinking you are better than others. It is about becoming more honest about what is right for you. Alignment means your actions, values, priorities, and environment begin to match your inner truth. As your awareness deepens, your tolerance for negativity, drama, dishonesty, and limitation decreases. Not because you hate people, not because you judge them, but because your inner standards have changed. What once felt acceptable now feels heavy. What once felt exciting now feels empty. What once felt normal now feels misaligned. Arrogance says, I am above you. Alignment says, I must be true to myself. There is a powerful difference between the two. Arrogance looks down on others. Alignment looks inward. Arrogance seeks status. Alignment seeks truth. When you are aligned, you are not trying to prove anything to anyone. You are trying to preserve your energy, your direction, and your purpose. You are not rejecting people as human beings. You are releasing dynamics that no longer support your growth. Outgrowing people can be emotionally painful because history creates attachment, shared memories create bonds, and loyalty creates hesitation. You may care deeply for someone and still recognize that your paths are no longer compatible. Respect does not require proximity, and love does not always require access. Sometimes the most mature form of care is distance with dignity, honesty without hostility, and separation without bitterness. Outgrowing places follows the same principle. Certain environments were right for your earlier stage. They help shape you, teach you, and strengthen you. But staying too long in a space that no longer challenges or inspires you can quietly shrink your potential. Environments influence behavior, thinking, and ambition. When you change internally, your external space must eventually change too, or you will feel constant inner conflict. Many people stay stuck because they fear being judged for changing. They worry others will say they became proud. different, or difficult. But growth always looks strange to those committed to staying the same. You cannot expand your life while living only for other people's comfort. Trying to remain acceptable to everyone is the fastest way to become invisible to yourself. Alignment requires courage, clarity, and compassion. Courage to accept that change is necessary, clarity to recognize what no longer fits, and compassion to walk away without hatred. You do not need to announce your growth loudly, you simply need to live it consistently. Quiet upgrades are still powerful upgrades. It is also important to understand that outgrowing is natural, not personal. Just as children outgrow clothes, minds outgrow limitations, and souls outgrow small visions, growth is movement, and movement creates distance. That distance is not betrayal, it is evolution. You are allowed to choose conversations that nourish you, spaces that challenge you, and relationships that respect your becoming. You are allowed to protect your peace without apologizing for it. You are allowed to move forward without carrying everyone with you. Alignment is not ego, not pride, not rejection. It is responsibility to your highest self. When you honor your alignment, you do not become arrogant. You become authentic, grounded, and free. One of the deepest truths about personal growth is this: not every person who enters your life is meant to stay for your entire journey. Some people are seasonal, some are situational, some are instructional, and only a few are lifelong. Understanding this does not make you cold, ungrateful, or distant. It makes you emotionally wise. When you accept that relationships have seasons, you stop forcing permanence where there is only purpose. Seasonal connections serve a role at a specific stage of your life. They arrive when you are learning a lesson, building strength, healing a wound, or discovering your direction. During that time, the bond feels strong, meaningful, and necessary. You share time, trust, effort, and energy. But once the lesson is learned and the growth is complete, the connection may naturally weaken. This is not betrayal, not failure, not disrespect. It is completion. People often suffer because they try to turn seasonal people into permanent ones. They hold on out of nostalgia, history, and emotional investment. They say, we've been together so long, or they were there when I needed someone. And while that is true and valuable, gratitude does not require lifelong attachment. Appreciation and release can exist together. Respect and distance can exist together. Love and closure can exist together. Think about different chapters of your life: school years, early work days, difficult phases, rebuilding periods. Each chapter likely had different companions. At that time, those relationships felt central, irreplaceable, and deeply connected. Yet life moved forward, and many of those people did not continue into the next chapter. That does not erase their importance. It defines their role. Trying to carry every past relationship into your future can slow your progress and cloud your judgment. Growth changes your priorities, your values, your boundaries, your goals. When these change, compatibility changes too. Conversations feel different, motivations differ, lifestyles separate. Forcing continuation where alignment is gone creates tension, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. Seasonal people are not less important. They are precisely important for their time. Some teach you confidence, some teach you boundaries, some teach you self-worth, some teach you what not to accept again. Some arrive to support you, some arrive to challenge you, some arrive to wake you up. Every role has value, even if the duration is short. Emotional maturity means you can say, thank you for your part in my story, without demanding they remain in every future page. It means you stop measuring relationship success only by length and start measuring it by impact, honesty, and growth. A short, transformative connection can be more valuable than a long, draining one. There is also another side to this truth. You are seasonal in some people's lives too. You have played roles in chapters that you were not meant to continue. And that is okay. Release is not rejection, it is redirection. Life organizes connections according to growth, not comfort. Holding on beyond the season often leads to friction. You begin to feel misunderstood, restricted, or emotionally distant. Small conflicts increase, patience decreases, appreciation fades. These are often signals that the season is ending. Instead of fighting the ending, learn to close with grace, honesty, and calm. Do not label every ending as loss. Some endings are graduations, some are protections, some are promotions of the soul. When you accept seasonal relationships, you suffer less, cling less, and grow more. You make space for new connections that match your current level, your present values, and your future direction. Your journey is long, layered, and evolving, and it is natural that your travel companions will change along the way. Honor the season, receive the lesson, express the gratitude, and when it is time, let the chapter close peacefully, respectfully, and bravely. One of the strongest forces in human behavior is familiarity. Not truth, not logic, not even happiness, but familiarity. People often repeat patterns, not because they are healthy, but because as they are known, predictable, and emotionally rehearsed. A familiar pattern can feel safe even when it is slowly draining your confidence, your peace, and your potential. Recognizing this is a turning point and choosing to break those patterns is not rebellion, it is self-respect. Patterns are repeated ways of thinking, reacting, choosing, and relating. They show up in relationships, in work habits, in emotional responses, in self-talk, and in decision-making. You may notice yourself choosing the same type of unhealthy relationship, tolerating the same kind of disrespect, delaying the same important goals, or quitting at the same stage every time. When repetition produces pain, limitation, and regret, it is no longer a coincidence, it is a pattern. The danger of familiar patterns is that they become invisible. What you repeat long enough starts to feel normal. You stop questioning it, stop challenging it, stop imagining alternatives. You say, that's just how I am, or this is how things always go for me. And with those sentences, you unconsciously lock the pattern in place. Awareness is the first break in the cycle. Honesty is the second. Action is the third. Breaking a harmful pattern feels uncomfortable because you are going against emotional habits, social expectation, and internal conditioning at the same time. Your mind prefers automatic behavior. Your nervous system prefers predictability. Your environment may even prefer your old responses because they are easier to manage. Change disrupts all of that, and disruption creates resistance both inside you and around you. But self-respect demands interruption of what repeatedly harms you. Self-respect says, I will not keep volunteering for my own exhaustion. I will not keep agreeing to what violates my values. I will not keep shrinking to maintain approval. These decisions may look small from the outside, but internally they are powerful declarations of worth. Many harmful patterns are rooted in old experiences, childhood conditioning, past failures, or emotional wounds. Maybe you learned to stay silent to avoid conflict, to overgive to feel valued, to self-sabotage to avoid risk, to please everyone to avoid rejection. These strategies may have once protected you, but protection that becomes permanent turns into limitation. What once helped you survive may now be preventing you from growing. Breaking patterns requires replacing, not just removing. You cannot simply stop a behavior, you must build a better one. Replace constant self-criticism with deliberate self-coaching. Replace avoidance with small, brave actions. Replace unhealthy attachment with clear boundaries. Replace impulsive reaction with thoughtful pause. New patterns feel awkward at first, slow at first, unnatural at first, but repetition turns intention into identity. Expect emotional pushback. When you change a pattern, you may feel guilt, doubt, and fear. You may wonder if you are overreacting, being too strict, or becoming difficult. This is normal because the old pattern had emotional permission and the new one needs emotional practice. Stay steady. Consistency creates credibility with yourself. Self-respect is not loud, not aggressive, not dramatic. It is consistent. calm, and firm. It is choosing long-term well-being over short-term comfort, inner truth over outer approval, conscious choice over automatic habit. Each time you interrupt a harmful pattern, you send yourself a powerful message. My life is worth improving. My peace is worth protecting. My future is worth changing for. But you are not trapped in repetition unless you refuse reflection. Patterns can be studied, challenged, redesigned, and rebuilt. You are allowed to become someone who responds differently, chooses differently, lives differently. Breaking the pattern is not losing yourself. It is finally meeting your stronger self with clarity, courage, and respect. Discomfort is often misunderstood, avoided, and misinterpreted, yet it is one of the most reliable signals that growth is happening. Most people are trained to treat discomfort as danger, as a stop sign, as proof that something is wrong. But in personal development, emotional maturity, and purpose-driven living, discomfort is frequently not a warning to retreat. It is an invitation to expand. Expansion always stretches your current limits, and stretching never feels the same as resting. When your thinking grows, your old beliefs feel tight. When your standards rise, your old habits feel weak. When your vision becomes bigger, your current environment can feel too small. This tension creates discomfort, not because you are failing, because you are evolving beyond your previous boundaries. And think about every major upgrade in life: learning a new skill, speaking up for yourself, setting boundaries, starting a new path, ending a misaligned relationship, changing your routine. None of these feel comfortable at the beginning. Your voice may shake, your confidence may feel unstable, your results may be slow. But discomfort in these moments is not punishment, it is proof of progress in motion. The problem is not discomfort itself, the problem is the meaning people attach to it. Many assume if this feels hard, it must be wrong, when often the truth is, if this feels hard, it may be new. New actions challenge old wiring. New choices challenge old identity. New directions challenge old expectations. Your system needs time to adjust, and that adjustment period feels uneasy. There are two types of discomfort, one that damages and one that develops. Damaging discomfort comes from violation, disrespect, and misalignment. It weakens your dignity and drains your spirit. Developmental discomfort comes from challenge, learning, and courageous action. It strengthens your capacity and sharpens your character. Wisdom is learning to tell the difference and not confusing growth, pain with harm. When you experience expansion discomfort, your first emotional reaction may be to step back, delay, or escape. You may want to return to the familiar, even if the familiar is limiting. But retreating every time you feel stretched keeps your world small. Expansion requires tolerance for temporary instability. You must be willing to feel like a beginner, to feel uncertain, to feel exposed without labeling yourself incapable. Discomfort also exposes hidden strength. You discover patience you did not know you had, courage you did not know you could access, discipline you did not know you could maintain. Pressure reveals capacity. Without challenge, potential remains theoretical. With challenge, potential becomes visible and usable. Another powerful truth is this: confidence is built through tolerated discomfort, not avoided discomfort. Every time you stay present in a stretching moment instead of escaping it, your self-trust increases. You begin to say, I can handle hard things, not as motivation, but as memory. You remember surviving difficulty, learning through tension, and succeeding after uncertainty. Expansion discomfort often brings loneliness too, because growth paths are not always crowded. When you raise your standards and change your direction, fewer people may understand you. This social discomfort can feel heavy, but it is often temporary. New alignment attracts new connection, but only after you stay true through the transition. Instead of asking, how do I avoid discomfort? Begin asking, what is this discomfort preparing me for? What is it teaching me? What capacity is it building in me? This question turns fear into curiosity and curiosity into courage. Do not run from every uncomfortable feeling. Pause and examine it. It may be signaling that you are stepping into a larger life, a stronger identity, a clearer purpose. Discomfort is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is the doorway. Walk through it steadily, consciously, bravely, and you will find that expansion was waiting on the other side. Comma by comma, step by step, choice by choice. Outgrowing people, places, and patterns is not a loss. It is a sign of awakening, maturity, and inner alignment. It means you are no longer living on autopilot, no longer accepting what drains you, no longer shrinking to stay comfortable. Growth has started asking more from you, and you have started expecting more from yourself. That is not selfish, not arrogant, not disloyal. It is conscious living. You have learned that growth feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. That alignment is not pride, but truth. That some relationships are seasonal and still meaningful. That familiar patterns can be harmful and must be broken. And that discomfort is often the doorway to expansion. Each of these realizations is a step toward a stronger, clearer, more intentional life. Do not measure your progress by how many people stay. Measure it by how honest you have become. Do not measure your success by how easy it feels. Measure it by how aligned it feels. Your journey is not meant to be crowded with everyone from your past. It is meant to be filled with what supports your future. Some things must be released so better things can be received. Walk forward without bitterness, without superiority, without apology. Carry gratitude for what helped you grow, clarity about what no longer fits, and courage for what comes next. You are not leaving life behind. You are stepping deeper into it with awareness, with strength, with purpose. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming defined. And that is where true power begins.